Yo.
What up? What up?
What up, though? Listen, bro, you can't be leaving me like this for a week at a time.
I'm sorry, man.
Listen, it was all kinds of shit popping off. I was feeling lonely as fuck. I was almost texting you, bro. I was like, damn. I was like, where's Sean at? Every time something would happen last week, I was like, yeah, it was a lonely week, bro. You're not allowed to leave. No
I'm
more.
sorry, man. I had to go out of town for a little business, man. But it's all good. We back, man. Episode 73. Everybody, welcome back.
Let's go.
Carbon Footprint Podcast. He is Juan and I'm Sean. And every week we get together, have a few drinks, and talk about things going on in the world. Try to focus on things making an impact, whether they be good, bad, or otherwise. And we got something else for y'all today. Get your recipe books out. Get on Instagram. Check out the picture. Let's go. Hit them up.
Listen, this shit is fancy. I was feeling myself after I made it, too. It came out so delicious. I can't take credit for the recipe. It was fire, though. This week, we're drinking something called El Alma, which is basically the soul. It's a translation for the soul.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, El Alma is like the soul.
You know my Spanish is fucked up.
I know. You a coconut. We've established this. You brown on the outside, but hella white in the middle. It's mezcal. So if you've never had mezcal, it's kind of a cousin of tequila-esque, I guess, is the best way to describe it. Yep. But it's more smoky, I would say, than tequila. It's like a...
Yeah, it's definitely gassy.
Yeah, it did, but this one is like Montelobos. It wasn't bad. It doesn't feel like it's gonna be pleasant going in, but it goes down pretty smooth.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
It's definitely great with ice, so definitely try that out. But basically, the drink calls for an ounce of peach ginger simple syrup. I don't know where you get that, but we got it. I'll tell you right now, we got it from, actually, shout out to Shaker and Spoon. Somebody gave me a gift, a friend of mine, of this subscription service that essentially comes with all the ingredients you need to make a drink. And they give you different drinks, like, on a monthly basis. Pretty awesome, man. It's cool. So this stuff I would have never kind of stumbled onto on my own. So shout out to the person who gave me a gift. And then just the Shaker and Spoon. This is a cool ass concept where they literally mail you everything you need minus the alcohol, and then they give you recipe cards and stuff. So it came with this peach ginger simple syrup. So you need an ounce of that. You need an ounce of lime juice, 2 ounces of the mezcal. Shake that up. Pour it in a glass, no ice. You do shake it with ice, and then top it off with an ounce of ginger beer. You do need star anise as like a garnish, but we lit it on fire and then threw it in because
that's what we do, goddammit.
Yeah, because we extras. And I feel like it brings out the smoky like of the anise.
It definitely did.
And I'm not a fan of that. That licorice scent that anise does, I hate it. But I do use that shit all the time, man.
Yeah, it just smells good.
It smells good. And I hate like the flavor of licorice, but the smell of that is awesome. You know what I use that for? Like, is why I had the separate bag too. I actually make old fashioned with tequila, and I'll smoke that anise to smoke the glass with it. So that's why I even had some, and it tastes fire because that scent stays in the glass.
You haven't hit me up on that one.
I'll put you on.
That's next week.
We could do that next week.
All right, bet.
But anyway, try that off, man. It's awesome. El Alma. We'll put up the recipe on IG because it's a little complex, but it tastes fire.
Yeah, and by the time this episode comes out, it'll be, Thursday for most of you. So it's definitely a good get home on Friday after a long day's week. Or did I say that right?
I don't know.
I don't know either. After a long week.
I'm a couple of these in. I don't know what's what.
After a long week, and treat yourself on a Friday night.
Hell yeah. It's good, man. It's fire.
All right, man. Yo. Compliment of the week for me goes out to Michael Lafitte. This guy is in Louisiana. He lives in Louisiana. I believe he's a Louisiana native, but don't quote me on that. This guy started an organization called Dads on Duty. Okay. So within like a 3-day span, the high school in which I believe one of his kids go to, there were 23 students arrested for fighting.
Damn.
So he got the fathers together, the fathers of kids in the school together to go and essentially just have presence at the school. And so they're there, they're greeting the kids as they come in, they're laughing with them, they're joking with them, but they're making sure kids are going to the class, and most importantly, they're making sure that there's no fighting going on. That's dope. And so what was funny was, and so this was first reported by CBS, And there's right now there's about 40 of the dads that are doing this. And one thing that he brought up in the interview was that, and this is a predominantly African American school, right?
Okay.
It's in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Okay.
makes sense.
So he was like, yo, most of these kids not only don't have fathers in the house, but don't even have positive male figures in the house. And then they interview some of the kids, and the kids were like, yo, like, they're funny, but most importantly, like, we just feel safe. Like, we just feel like it's just not going to pop off.
Like, that's big, man.
Because there's more male figures around the school. And since they've done it, like, 0 fights, bro.
Dude, there's so much data that like shows. I mean, I wish I could remember her name, but there's a divorce attorney, actually, man. She's a female, and she does these TED Talks all the time about how, not that dads are more important than moms, but the impact on someone who doesn't have a dad it's like far greater than the not having a mom part, and it has to do something of the way like we socially develop. That it's cool, man. And she uses great analogy. It was like, if the mom, if the kid gets hurt in school, right, and they called the dad and were like, yo, like, who do we call? Like, what doctor do we send them to?
Right.
Like, most dads would be like, I don't know, call the mom. But if you ask the kid, like, if you had to go like, yo, what's the kid's favorite game? And what's the kid's favorite? Like, it basically what it boiled down to was like the fun aspect always came from the dad, obviously the protection,
Gotcha,
all that.
okay.
The nurturing aspect came from the mom, and it was like, it's not that wasn't important, but it was that a lot of the social development that came from like you sort of being who you are, as far as like how you make friends and how you play and how you do all that stuff, like, was like the dad played a huge critical role. And then obviously there's all this data that shows that, like, yo, kids who grew up without fathers, like, it's more times than not, you end up doing some pretty shitty stuff by not having those male father figures. So, man, that's huge that those guys would do that in that community. Yeah, man, shout out to those guys, man.
Yeah, man, and they're actually trying to expand in Louisiana, but like, I think the guy's long-term goal is to go, yo, like, nationwide. We need to have like chapters nationwide in
kind of
places.
like the Big Brother thing, but
Yeah.
like that's fire, man.
And let me tell you, man, like, growing up in like New York City, I didn't even know that many people that had fathers in the house. So like my best friend growing up in New York, he had a father in the house. And I remember as a kid, like, always trying to like impress him, because like I didn't have a father, right? My father didn't live with us. He was
At the time,
at the time, right? So he lived a few blocks away, and I kind of saw him whenever I saw him, or at least the guy I thought was my father.
Go back and listen to a couple episodes
right.
ago. There's a whole lot to unpack there, yo.
But no, like, so I know what it's like to sort of grow up, at least as a young kid, without having a father in the house, and it's definitely impactful. Now, I did have some really good father figures,
Yeah.
in my life, and I love those guys to death, right? So, but
And they had a huge impact on you. I mean,
Oh,
just knowing
absolutely,
you,
bro.
absolutely know that they made like a huge impact on you. It's funny, man. As you were saying that, dude, I was thinking about the Clanton, like the clique essentially that I grew up with. Like,
Yep.
if I think back to before I even moved here.
how many have dads?
Dude, I thought of 6 people that I hung out with all the time. One of them had a dad.
There you go, bro.
One. And then I think about even the crew then that I hung out with here. Man, maybe 2, so a little bit more. I think my friend group here might have had, but I would say it was 50-50, like here. But in Jersey, man, where I grew up, some of my best friends, man, some people I talk to this day, yeah, none of them had dads that lived in their house, man.
Yeah.
Like, not one. Not even stepdads. Like, so I think about that as like, damn, that's so true. I didn't really do that math until you just mentioned that. About the kids around you. I'm like, oh fuck.
And I didn't realize it. I mean, I've always known it from a personal standpoint, but
it's so normal.
right.
Like, honestly, it was
It
so
wasn't-
normal. It was so normal. Like, I really didn't think anything of it until you said that now, and I'm like thinking back. I'm like, oh shit. Like you said, like from a personal standpoint, right? Like I know what kind of like my situation, but like thinking about people around me, I never really registered that till now. That's hilarious. Man, fucking A, bro. Yo, shout out to y'all. Y'all know who y'all are. I feel bad, man. I'm sorry. I hope your dad comes back.
It's not too late.
It's not too
Go
late.
get a male. Go get a positive male figure in your life.
Bro, I was just telling someone like, I can't remember if I told you this story, but I did a field trip for my son once.
Okay.
And there was this kid in the class who was a badass kid, evidently, right? And the kid was like glued to my hip the whole time. So when you chaperone these things, they like break you off with like, oh, these 2 or 3 kids are yours, right? And usually it's yours and like 1 or 2 others. And this kid the whole time kept calling me dad, and like my son was kind of letting it slide, and I know he gets bothered by shit like that, so I was waiting for him to pop, and he didn't pop, and I was like, all right. And the kid just like, Dad, look at this. Dad, watch this. Dad, like just kept calling me dad the whole time.
Right.
And at one point we're eating lunch, and he hands me like something. He goes, Dad, can you open this? And my son done had enough. And my son like throws down like his sandwich or whatever it was, like the Uncrustable. He is not your dad. Yo, and the kid, bro, doesn't skip a beat and goes, well, I don't have one. So today he is. Yo, and the kid was a saint, bro. Like, at least for that day. Like, yeah, he was all over the place. And then the teacher telling me, like, yo, he is horrible normally. Like, horrible. And like dude was like, you
Shit
know,
matters, bro.
It really does, bro. I felt so bad, dude. You know, like he said that and I'm laughing my ass off.
Right.
And then like as I'm thinking about it, I'm going, fuck, that shit is so true. Like in his mind, it's just something he said and he kind of kept it moving. But I'm like, he was being honest as shit, because kids are normally like super honest about stuff like that. But the dude was like, they were like, yo, good luck. Like it almost gave him to me as a joke.
Right.
And he was fine the whole time, bro.
Yeah,
I was
dude.
like, he was better than my kid. I was like, yo. I had to go back a few times. Like, yo, where'd this one go?
You're like, can we trade?
Yo. I was like, I lost him in the aquarium, yo. It was horrible.
Dude, when I used to go to Pennsylvania on that fresh air fun shit, like over the summers, I stayed with, a husband and a wife, and the dude, man, I was like, when he was around, I was glued to his, he worked, right? But I was glued to his hip, and it was like, whatever he did, I wanted to do.
That's so
And
weird.
it's so, yeah, like that shit, like, it matters, bro.
It's so weird, man. Like, just to think of that, like, yeah. That's wild, man. Shout out to those guys, man. That's so cool.
Yeah, man.
It
So,
matters, bro. That's dope.
Michael Lafitte, keep doing your thing. Good thing that you guys started that. Obviously, it's making a huge impact.
Oh, yeah.
And hopefully, that shit just continues to catch on, and you guys get to open up some more chapters around the country.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Shout out to those guys, man. That's dope. Dude, my carbon footprint is, man, someone I've been critical of, but listen, man, I'm going to give him credit for keeping it a buck, bro. Kyrie Irving. Bro, you guys don't know the story about Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving been obviously he doesn't want to get vaccinated for whatever reasons, like personal choice, and then he.
So for the folks that don't know who he is, give him the intro.
Dude, Kyrie Irving is probably one of the greatest point guards of all time. Definitely top 3 in the NBA today. I would say top 20 point guards in the history of the league. Obviously won a championship with LeBron and the Cavs, plays for the Brooklyn Nets. So essentially in New York, you have to get vaccinated or you're not allowed to work.
That's everywhere, bro.
Yeah,
it's
a lot of places are
hospitals,
having that.
fucking. It's like,
God.
Dude, it's everywhere.
It's
like you have
everywhere,
to,
dude.
yeah. Like they lock it down.
So it's weird, man, and that's a separate conversation,
Right.
like whatever. But so essentially, what was going to happen was he was going to play 50-50, like so he could only play at away games at arenas that allowed him to be there for being unvaccinated, and then the Nets, and then he couldn't play home games. And credit to the Nets, man, like because obviously, like I respect Kyrie's decision to be able to if he's saying he doesn't want to get vaccinated, then cool. Like, listen. We talk about this all the time. Keep that same energy. Kyrie kept that same energy. He's like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. Like, no matter what, no matter how much money he's making or whatever. At least for now, he's like, nah, I don't want to get vaccinated. And then the Nets went, that's cool, but then we don't want you part time. So like the Nets have now said, yo, you're not even gonna play at away games. And they took off his extension off the table. Like we're not even discussing an extension with you until this is resolved. Because
is this his final year?
I think so.
Okay.
So for him, obviously, a lot of future money on the line. I would argue he costs himself future money with any team, not just the Nets. Like, because who's going to want to take a flyer on that right now if he doesn't get?
Right.
I would not take a flyer on him right now just because I feel like he's not passionate about basketball. That's a separate thing. But like, anyway, man, the guy. Listen, again, he kept that same energy, bro. They told him he couldn't play, whatever. They couldn't pressure him into playing. And I went, you know what, man? I gotta respect that. If you stuck to your to your morals and whatever your sort of compass for this was, and you were just like, nah, like cool. Dude, Kyrie's making, I think we were talking about this before, $426K per game. He's gonna have to pay $380K of it in fines.
Oh, wow.
So he loses a good chunk of that. Now, we did the math before we came on. He's still going to make about $3.8 million to sit. That's not chump change. But if you're Kyrie Irving, you could have made 30-something mil, 35, I think.
Right. I'm going to say the guy's not poor, right? But
absolutely not.
But definitely when you say, I could have had this, and then I only made this, and who knows what his lifestyle is like. I don't know.
Yeah. And listen, man, I there's one thing to be like, to take this stance of like, I'm not going to do this. And most people have a price, right? Certainly when it comes to this, I feel like a lot of people have a price that you could sort of talk them into it. I got to respect you, man, when you go, somebody dangles $35-40 million a year. You figure his new contract's going to be $45 million a year. And he goes, nah, I'm good.
Nah, I'm good.
Like, bro, I can't be mad at you, bro. You again, you kept it a buck, bro. Like, you kept that same energy. You went, no. And then, like, you like so much so that you're willing to walk away from $200 million.
Listen, man, when you think the earth is flat,
yeah, that's a whole another thing. Kyrie let me down,
anything is
bro.
possible.
This is so
actually
true,
no. He actually came out and was like, "That's not."
Oh, he read a book.
He did something.
He was like, "Oh shit!" I watched a YouTube video. Turns out it's not flat at all. I didn't even want to get into that. I take it back, Kyrie. Fuck that.
Maybe Neil deGrasse Tyson got a hold of him or something. But no, man,
he
good
got
for
on
him.
a boat. He was like, "Oh shit, go that way."
All right, keep going.
Keep going. Ended up right back where he started. And he was like, "Oh shit, maybe I'm wrong."
Yeah, dude, that dude, like I said, good for him, man. We'll see how long that lasts. Now they had protests and shit in front of the Barclays Center, right?
Dude, they had to like close it down. People stormed into the Barclays Center about like let Kyrie play.
It's like an insurrection.
Yeah, it's literally. Yeah, shit is crazy, bro.
Isn't that fucked up? Nobody's saying shit about that.
Oh my god, it's so true. They did. They literally stormed it. They had to call in all kinds of shit, bro, and shut the place down. Like,
dude, that just like, what does that say about the fans? Like,
they need jobs,
the
bro.
fanatics.
Nobody has jobs,
right, bro?
They needed something to do on a Tuesday, bro. That's what that shit's.
Dude, not for nothing, man. Hiring has been even for us. Hiring has been tough. Like, people don't want to work.
Fuck no. I mean, I think like people want to work. They're just being really picky about what they do now, man. Which I don't know, man. I go back and forth on it because I kind of dig it, right? Like I'm like, you know what? Good for you.
Yeah,
like,
right. You should enjoy what you do.
You should enjoy what you do. You should command whatever it is that you feel like you're worth. You should, you know, I think certainly we've always had this conversation like about, you know, companies should treat you in a fair and equitable manner. But like, yeah, the other part of me just goes like, I don't know. There's some people who I go, you have unrealistic expectations based on your skill set. Like,
right.
Like, yeah. And I mean, it'll come down crashing earth for some of those guys, but, or not, man. Like, they might figure some other shit out. I mean,
yeah, live on less.
Yep. Yeah. So, who knows? But, yeah, that whole shit's just been wild, man.
Dude, speaking of, while we're on sports, Tom Brady this week throws his 600th touchdown.
I want that motherfucker to pee in a cup.
Dude,
they on something.
They did a comparison, bro. So they had like the hockey players, like so NHL, 600 goals. I want to say there's like 20 guys or so. And then they did like 600 home runs in MLB. And there's like 9 guys that did it. 600 CDs in the NFL. He is the only guy.
And mind you, preface that with significantly less games. Like hockey, you playing like 100 games a season, bro. In Major League Baseball, you're playing 162 a year. So yeah, think about this guy's playing. Obviously, he probably plays 20 because he always runs through to the Super Bowls, right? But you're playing 16 plus playoffs, right? So depending on how deep you get, you're getting 18, 19, 20, right? Is that right? Yeah. 19.
Now, maybe it's not a good comparison, right? Is throwing a touchdown easier or harder than hitting a home run? And is it easier or harder than scoring a goal in hockey?
I think it depends how you look at it, because statistically speaking, hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do in sports.
Right.
So, yeah, when you factor in, like, hitting a baseball and then hitting it over a fence or whatever, like, yeah, but you also have, dude, if you play 20 years in Major League Baseball, and let's just assume you average 100 games, it's a lot of fucking time you had to hit.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, his streak has been so impressive, dude. Like, I joked before about like the test him. It's just not normal. And granted, maybe he becomes the like new normal of the technology and the way we eat and nutrition and the training and sports medicine.
I don't think so, bro.
So good, but
I think maybe there's more guys like that in the future, but I don't think it becomes a norm. It's like you have those guys like him, like a LeBron, right? That are meticulous about their health. Yeah. And spend an enormous amount of money because they have it, right, on their health.
As you should, if that's the way you make money.
Yeah.
Right, like when you look at like, oh, LeBron spends $2 million a year on his body, and I'm just like, yeah, of course, like you should. Like you make 100, you should definitely spend 2% of that on the thing that generates your wealth. Like it just makes sense. But like
you see now, LeBron is doing he's like it's a spokesperson or whatever for that tonal that shit that's on the wall.
Yeah, the screen with the workout thing. Yeah. I was a little surprised that.
So was I.
Yeah, I didn't take him for one, but I don't know. Maybe the thing is the good. I don't know.
Good for him, man. You know, endorsements, man.
Yeah,
but with the Tom Brady thing, so he throws a 600 touchdown, and then Mike Evans catches it and gives the ball away. For those of you who don't watch sports, that's a big deal. So he gives the ball away to a fan, and then almost immediately, somebody from the Tampa Bay Bucks organization comes out to the fan and talks to him and gets the ball.
Yeah.
And then initially, they give the guy another ball, and then they promise him like some signed memorabilia.
Okay.
And I think that they go, oh, we're going to give you like a $1,000 gift card to our, Buccaneers
like the
shop.
Team shop. Yeah.
Which is, if anybody who works for a retail company, like gift cards are,
that means it costs them $200 and you're getting $1,000 quote unquote worth of stuff. Maybe.
Right.
The markup on retail is
crazy.
Enormous. Yeah.
So the guy really gets nothing for it. So come to find out, it's worth like at minimum $500K.
Yeah.
At minimum.
He got ripped off, bro. So tell him you got the list of what he actually got. Then they went back to the negotiating table.
So they went back, and I don't know. And I think the Bucks. I don't think the guy complained. I think the Bucks found out, and it was like, yo, we have to do more.
Yeah, and Brady did too. To his credit, I saw him at a press conference. He goes, I'm gonna throw some stuff his way, kind of thing. When they interviewed him after the fact, because Brady mentioned the fact that he never wants balls. Like he's like, yeah, I got a couple, but I don't usually keep them. But I felt like that one was one I wanted to have. So because the ball is for Brady, not for like Hall of Fame or not for the team.
Gotcha.
It was for him personally. So he had mentioned something at the press conference like, nah, I'm gonna make sure we take care of him. Yeah. So
I would imagine he would want that one, and then maybe like the 5th Super Bowl win. Yeah. He has what, 7 now?
Yeah, I would think he'd take one from every Super Bowl.
Yeah, I would think so too. But at least the one that breaks, right? Because I think
you take that 600, then you take
like
the last
Terry Bradshaw has 4.
Yes. Oh, you're right. Yeah. So you would take the 5th that breaks the record.
Take the 5th, right?
Yeah. 7 fucking Super Jesus.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, so what they ended up coming back with was, let me see. So 2 signed Tom Brady jerseys and a helmet, a signed Mike Evans jersey and his game cleats. Still give him the $1,000 credit to the team shop, and then 2 season tickets for this season and next. Bro, I still
ripped off. Bro.
I still don't think it's enough.
He got like $20,000 worth of stuff.
Are you giving it back?
Fuck no.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time with that.
I'm having a hard time, bro. Like. So I think 2 parts of that is if I'm a fan of the team of the Bucks, right? Like I have a tough time not giving it,
right?
Because
especially being in the moment.
Yes,
right. You're there, and then the team, whatever official comes up to you and asks you. I'll be honest. Like I think in the moment, I would have probably given it back. But I would have probably immediately regretted it when I got home.
Yeah. I think that's how I would have felt. I would have been like, yo, I want you to have it back. But I would have been like, I got to think about what I want. So I don't know that I would have immediately wanted to hand it over. I would have been like, yo, I'm going to give it to you, but I got to think this through. Because, like, understanding the magnitude of that moment, dude, the ball's worth $500,000 now. What happens when he retires?
Right.
So you're potentially talking about a $700K to $1 million. You never know.
Now, if you're Tom Brady, do you go like, nah, I'll give you $2 million for it? Give it to me.
Yeah, and then I give it to you.
Right?
Yeah, I'll take it. Like, yeah, and so
I just don't know, man. Like, what is like how much?
Do you ask for like a
how much is
lifetime
enough?
season tickets? Do you ask for like I want
I think
signed
it's
balls,
that.
signed jerseys? Like me, I'm going. Yeah, I want a lifetime season tickets.
Yeah.
And then I still want the signed ball. I still want the signed jerseys. I still want and then I go. I want something from this game. Like I want either your jersey or your cleats or whatever. Like I still want something that commemorates the 600 touchdown pass. Like. Because it'll still be worth money.
Right.
Yeah, and like granted, obviously the guy was lucky enough that Mike Evans hands him the ball, right? So you don't want to be like greedy.
Don't be right.
And if you're a fan of the team, you certainly don't want to be the dude who's known as like the guy who didn't want to give Tom Brady his ball back. But like, yeah,
every game you come to after that, you fucking hate it.
Yeah, you can't walk around Tampa ever, right? Like, but
it'd be like the dude in Chicago.
Oh my God, Bart.
Bartman or whatever the hell his name was.
Yeah, Scott. Is it Scott Bartman? Steve Bartman? Whatever. The dude who interfered on a ball that I mean
he didn't really interfere.
He didn't really interfere, man. Yeah,
no, he didn't. That shit was coming right to him. Good for you, bro. Catch the ball.
Yeah. The only reason Chicago let him off the hook is because they won a World Series now. But yeah,
nobody was more happy than that guy.
He got ripped off, man. Like, and I know the intentions were there, right? Like, I saw Tom Brady said we're gonna give him 1 Bitcoin or something like that too.
There you go.
And I don't know if he was joking or if he was serious about that, but like that's kind of cool. Like, all right, cool, give the guy Bitcoin. He said he was gonna give him a few signed jerseys and a signed ball and whatever. Like, obviously, greatest quarterback of all time. You go, dude, like this ball is meaningful. Like, you got to give me something. Did you see the controversy with Romo?
No.
I was laughing my ass off. So I'm watching the game live. Romo, when the guy walks over to negotiate, Romo starts like ad-libbing, like making basically mimicking what the conversation was like.
Right.
And he goes like, I want to date with Giselle and like trying to be funny about it, right? And then and whatever. And the guy goes, date with Giselle? Okay, cool. Tom says okay. Like, and it was supposed to be like a fake.
Yeah,
like,
it's funny. Yeah.
And for those that don't know, Tom Brady's married to Giselle Bundchen, supermodel, whatever. Like, been married for a long time, whatever. They got a few kids, and Giselle Bundchen is like considered, I think, scientifically to be the best looking woman ever, right? Like, I think science has backed that.
Really?
Yeah, she's not my cup of tea, but there's literally been studies done based on her facial structure and all. It's all this crazy shit, right? And anyway, so Romo makes that comment, then he doubles down on it. Like, as they go back to the broadcast, he goes, I want $1 million in the date with Giselle, which I thought was hysterical. It's funny, bro. It's funny,
yeah.
And he means it in jest. And then I saw like this morning, like people are on this like cancel Tony Romo like kick because he was being disrespectful and yada yada yada. It's just like, bro,
that guy might be the best football broadcaster ever.
Absolutely. And I go, okay, if Tom Brady, because they're like, oh, like he's gonna trade his wife for a piece of memorabilia. Like, obviously not. Like,
no,
it was supposed to be in jest. It's funny. Yeah. It's not like Tom Brady's wife is just some like housewife. You're talking about someone who makes a living based off of her looks. So the funny part about that is like calling that out. Like, I was like, I don't understand how you can't separate. Like, listen, if Tom Brady was married to some like suburban housewife that nobody's ever heard of or whatever, and you go, oh, I want to date with your wife, then I'd be like, all right, that's a little creepy. That's weird.
Right.
Tom Brady's married to a fucking supermodel, and who makes money off of her looks.
She actually makes more money than he does.
Yeah, a lot more money than he does.
Still.
Like, you make money based off of how you look. Like, you want people to perceive you as like whatever, like to objectify you in a obviously not in a disrespectful manner, but like that's what you make your living off of, right? Yep. So I think in that space, then you kind of you command a certain amount of attention. And so I think when Romo makes that comment, I don't think there's any ill intent. I think it's funny. It's a joke that he makes. But I saw this whole shit today where like people are like, Tony Romo's a pig, like he's disrespectful, is whatever. I'm like, no, man, like it's fucking hilarious that he would go $1 million in a day, which is like,
please tell me.
At the time, I was dying, bro.
Please tell me he didn't apologize.
I don't know. Actually, I'd be so disappointed. I hope he doesn't, bro.
Yeah, who's he? He's with who? CBS?
Yeah. He's not going anywhere, bro. People will get over it. But I'm just like, and you know, like whoever wrote the article is some like ugly chick who like no one's ever gonna say that about her. So she's just salty. Like, I'm just like, it's like, oh, Tony Romo is sexist, and he wanted to trade. The fact that he would suggest trading his wife for like, I don't even want to give the person credit who wrote the article, but like trade his wife for a piece of memorabilia. Like, she's not a piece of meat. It's like, shut the fuck up, bro. Like, it's like, take a joke, dude. Like,
yeah, and let me tell you that there'll be some drunk guy in the stadium that'll go like, I'm on a one night date with your wife. And not even care. And be like, I don't want the money. I don't want nothing.
I want my personal Victoria's Secret runway show. Tell Giselle to bring her friends.
Make sure she brings that Adriana chick.
Yeah. Bring the hit shit on that chick. Oh, bro, it's I'm like, dude, I was looking at that and I go, I hope that they're like looking for clickbait, because you can't tell me that we're that far gone that you can't make a joke like. I bet
dude,
you Tom
now,
would think that's funny.
Dude, but speaking of fucking jokes, bro, you see who's Dave Chappelle?
Yeah. Oh, we didn't get a chance to talk about that.
No, so I did, but I did watch his special.
Okay.
It's funny.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's
funny,
Chappelle, bro. It's good.
But he goes in and I watched it like 2 weeks ago, so I don't remember the specifics about it, but he goes in on like the trans community. I don't even want to say he goes in, but he makes some jokes about them and stuff. But man, I didn't feel like anything was that offensive. However, I do, like, on the flip side of that, if you go, well, we're a group of people that are experiencing a lot of hate anyway.
Yeah.
Like, don't add shit to it because we already got it bad.
Yeah, like we got it bad.
All right. So I get it. I get it from that perspective. But I also feel like it didn't seem like it was ill-willed.
No, man, it never is, dude. I feel like, I mean, obviously, you know, I'm always gonna side with the comedians, but like, dude, the minute you start to attack like art, to me, like, then now you have to censor everything, and that's a space I don't want us to exist in, because like, whether or not you like what he said, cool, change the channel. Like, it doesn't matter. And
it's fucking Netflix. You don't even have to watch it.
You don't even have
ever.
to watch it ever. Yeah, and I go, and I don't know how you could listen to that and think that he's being transphobic. Like, even there's a line in it where he even goes like, yo, I'm jealous of y'all. Like, as a black man in America, like the fact that I'm getting more shunned for you. Like, we've been at this shit for a few hundred years. You motherfuckers been at it for like 20, and y'all made more progress. Like, I'm like, that's a valid kind of observation from the outside looking in, where you go, damn, he's got a point.
And it's funny.
So, and like, Dave Chappelle's in his space now. So when I first watched the special, I didn't care for it. I watched it a second time.
It's good, bro.
It is really good.
It's good.
I think, and as someone who's like such a nerd about comedy, like I can never not say that someone's not good. So I should probably, I'm gonna walk that back a little bit. Like, I never say that something isn't good. It just wasn't what I expected based on his other specials, right?
Oh yeah, I can see that.
But Dave Chappelle is in this space now where Richard Pryor was, and like the Carlins of the world, where he's so good at what he does that, you know, he can make you laugh on command, that now he gets to use a platform to just be like a public speaker. So like, and then, you know, like, hey, he can just drop in a line in there and make you laugh, but he can just talk for an hour and you're gonna listen.
And he's not trying to persuade people one way or another, man. Like, the guy, it's entertainment, man. And
I think the job of a comedian too is to sort of challenge the status quo about certain things, where you go, yo, everybody just accepts this, but nobody really knows why. So I'm going to go ahead and question, like, we're all thinking this, but nobody wants to say it out loud. Like, I love that. Like, the fact that like, you can't have that dialogue is a problem. Like, the way, like, just dude, the joke about being in the bathroom in, like, Walmart, I was dying. Which one was that? It's so good. He's talking about like the using the bathroom with the trans person or whatever. Like, you guys.
Oh, yes.
It's so good, but like the way his observations work, man, you're just like, how can you not at least think about what he's saying? Right. And I'm not talking about like being anti-trans. I'm talking about like where he brings up something where you're almost just not allowed to question things. And I love that part about comedy, where you bring something up where you go, yo, we all just accept things, but we only accept it because everybody's like, yo, this is what you should do. And, you know, some of us deep down are going like, but bruh, like.
Dude, there's things that we've said on here that I've had people come up to me and go, yo, man, you guys talk about shit that I think about, but I don't want to say, or that I feel like I can't say.
Yeah. He even, dude, a couple of specials ago, he goes, you know, like being trans, he goes like, yo, it's a hilarious predicament. Like, if you're going to have a sense of humor about it, it's like, yo, I got these parts, but I don't feel like I have, like I don't feel like I should have these parts. Like, and you go, yo, and we talk about this before. To me, dude, true equality is we're all getting the smoke. So like, if you want true equality, I gotta be able to make fun of you. Like, and it doesn't mean I'm
Right.
transphobic. It doesn't mean I'm like homophobic. It doesn't mean whatever. Like, I'm racist. I'm like, nah, you all get in the smoke. Like, and that's true equality. Like, if you're gonna be like, yo, you're not allowed to make fun of us, then like, all right, bro, then you don't want equality. You like, to me, we get to the point where if the intent of the joke comes from a place of love, I should be allowed to make it. Like, even if I make fun of a community or a group of people or whatever, it comes from a space of where I think I understand them, and so I'm still gonna, like, it's never malicious, right? Like, so I don't know, man. That whole shit where people were walking out, and I love, man, in this climate where it's so easy to want to back away and sort of hide, and the Netflix executives just doubled down on it.
They really did.
They really.
As a matter of fact, in the special, doesn't he like thank them?
Yeah.
He's like, thank God for that. I remember the guy's name, but the head of Netflix. He's like, thank God for this guy.
He even calls on their bullshit where he tells a story about the Daphne chick at the end who commits suicide.
Oh, yes.
So he tells a story about the transphobic comedian who he gave a shot to open for him.
No, not transphobic comedian.
Not transphobic. Sorry, transgender.
Transgender. Yeah.
Bad joke. So yeah, she was transgender. She's only been on a stage like 10 times, and he lets her open for him, which is huge.
Right.
He even says she bombs.
Right.
Of course you do. And then like, the way he spoke about her, like, you could tell it was like it came from a place of love, man. The intent was real,
bro.
And then she is defending him online because, again, like, yo, don't like question my intent. Don't question like what you think or how you interpret my joke. Like, question the intent behind the joke, man. Like, again, we always talk about the joke that comes from the joke that you like comes from the same place of the one you dislike, right? So like. Yeah, man, that whole thing, and I'm so glad that Netflix sort of doubled down on it and just said, fuck it, we're not going to cancel, we're not going to pull it, we're not going to whatever. Because I think they are starting to realize this shit's going to go away. Like, we all just,
eventually
people are
will.
fake outrage, they need something to do. Like, yeah.
And not for nothing, man, you mentioned something a little while ago where you were like society and how society puts pressures on you to kind of like, go one way or another. And man, I got a call this week, man, from a friend of mine, and I'll forego the names, man, but I was having a problem with his relationship, but the problem wasn't necessarily with the relationship. It was with how everyone that was close to him, around him, perceives the relationship.
Okay.
And we got to talking, man, and at the end, man, I was just like, bro, like, nobody's living your life, bro. So like, if this thing works for you, like, just do it. Like, no, it doesn't affect anyone else. If you're happy in this, because what was happening was, man, it was not just the pressures of what he's hearing from people that are close to him now, but it was also of what he's been brought up to believe is correct. And so essentially, there's times in his life where it's fucking with him in his head, because he's going like, oh, well, I should be doing this, but I'm doing this other thing, and this other thing I really actually like, and it works for me, but society and my parents and my friends and family and everybody is telling me that this is wrong, and I'm like, dude. And at one point, man, he tells me like, man, I haven't been more happy in my life in the last several years with this person than I've been ever. And I'm like, bro, that's it.
That's your answer.
That's the answer, bro. Yeah. And I'm like, that's the answer. Like, you gotta quiet the noise around you, man, because like, nobody's living your life, man. And I think I told him something to the effect of like, don't allow your life to be dictated by people who aren't living it.
Yeah, dude, how many times? I mean, we talk about this shit all the time, man, where you just go, like, people from the outside looking in think, oh, but you have this and you have that, or like, you should be thankful for this. You know how many people, and you're just like, yeah, okay. Or the opposite of like, oh, why would you put up with, and it's just like, bro, you're not living.
Right.
Like, you're not here day to day.
The day to day, man. Nobody knows, bro.
You don't know what a neighbor's go. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's odd. And we talk about this all the time where, like, I know I'm certainly guilty of it, like, where you just feel like you sort of give in to the people around you because you're just like, well, fuck, man, maybe I'm crazy. And then you go like, all right, I guess I should go by this. Or, like, I don't want to hear it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go by what I think people want or what they tell me
Right.
or what they. It's so true, bro. And then you're like, yo, then I gotta live with myself. So yeah, like, what does that guy look like? Yeah, that's
It's so
strange,
true, man. Like I said, I think I told him something like, you know, when you and I were talking a couple of weeks ago off the air, I was talking about just sort of my situation, whatever, and I remember you made a comment of just like, yo, man, like you won, like, you know,
yeah.
remember that?
Yep.
And so, and I think that's kind of how I, towards the end of the conversation, I told him, I'm just like, bro, like you've done X, Y, Z, and now you're doing this, and for the last several years, like you love it. Like I'm like, you won, bro. Like just do that.
Yeah.
Until you don't want to do it anymore.
So you don't want to. Sometimes you gotta like sit there, bro, and like pencil out the like, what is it that you're trying to like? What is it that you want?
Right.
And then you just go like, oh shit, I'm there.
Yep.
And yeah. And you be like, oh fuck, yeah.
It's that reflection, bro.
Still, yeah, bro.
It's a reflection, and you gotta kind of block out like what, you know, what it is society thinks that you should be doing, or what your parents think you should be doing, or your family thinks you should be doing. I'm like, listen, you go around to your family's lives and the people that you believe are putting this pressure on you, and go look at their lives.
Oh, bro, it irks.
And you'll be like,
shit out of
fuck
me.
that.
Yeah, because it like sometimes I stop and think about that. I look at the people like around, like who are like either, you know, like family talks, friends talk, whatever,
Yep.
right? Like, and then like, or the people trying to give you advice, and you go, bro, like,
Yeah, go look at them and go like, do I want that?
you like, do I really want to be listening to this guy?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
Yeah, it's so true, man. Yeah, I not to go back, but I was as you were talking, I was looking behind you, and I was thinking about the Brady thing,
Oh yeah,
the Kobe ball.
yep.
When Kobe passed, that ball was worth $1 million. Like the day of, right? Day of,
Yeah.
day after, and it was so hard for me not to like put it up for sale. I didn't have it in me, bro. I don't even know
Yeah.
that guy, bro. I was just thinking about that when you were talking. I'm looking.
Now,
I looked
did
over. I
you-
looked at the ball.
So did you not do it because you go, I can't do it because it means a lot to me, or did you say that if it's worth $1 million now, it'd be worth $5 million in a few years?
I hate that you know me.
You like, whoo, that shit just skyrocketed yesterday?
Dude, it goes into kind of like what you were just talking about. I didn't do it because I felt like it would be a dick move, right? And then I went, yo, what do I
Nope.
look like if I put up a ball like from a dude that just passed? Like I kept thinking about that dude's wife and like his kids and I was just like,
They don't give a fuck about you.
I know, bro, but I worry too much about the perspective of, yo, how shitty of a human being am I?
Who
if
do
I
you-
put up that ball?
Who did you think would have come to you and been like, that's a dick move?
Bruh, I'm thinking of myself being on like Jimmy Fallon one day. And Jimmy goes, is it true? And I'm like, fuck you, Jimmy. You ain't been funny in years. I don't know, bro.
Why you gotta bring that up?
Why you
Jimmy?
gotta, yeah.
Who told you that, Sean?
Yeah,
That guy's a dick.
that guy, you can't listen to him. I got these tapes you should listen to. Bro, like literally you were saying that and I go, yo, I thought about this shit with Brady and I went, yo, I didn't get rid of the ball because I was worried about what the perception would be if I got rid of that ball at that time.
Wow, man.
Yeah, and then like I will say, I don't have a conscience about a lot of shit, but yeah, I felt shitty about it at the time, bro.
I could see myself, like I quickly put myself in your shoes. My thought would have been, oh, if it's $1 million now, it'll be $10 million.
I definitely did think about that. Like, yeah, it'll be worth a couple. So I think at the time I didn't think like, yo, I'm gonna lose on a golden opportunity. So I definitely
Right.
did think that through. But yeah, I didn't have it in me. I'll go because it did cross my mind. Like, is this ever gonna be worth more than now? Because you know, like with memorabilia, it's like the
It's
stock
weird,
market.
bro. Yep.
Emotion drives the whole thing, right?
Absolutely.
So
None of it's worth anything.
It's not
In reality.
In reality, it's not worth shit. It's worth what it is to the person who wants it, right? Like, so I just went, is it ever going to be worth more than that? Like, is the emotion behind Kobe ever going to be higher than it is
Than it
now?
is right now.
And then, like, you know, maybe Hall of Fame induction, shit like that, like, could have been it. But, like, yeah, dude, I was looking at that while you were talking, and I'm like, yeah, I didn't have it in me. And I know a lot of it was like, yo, what do I look like if I sell it? And then And obviously $1 million is life-changing money for anybody. So you just go, damn, it's $1 million I could have made from a ball. That, not that I'm not a Kobe fan. I like Kobe, but I'm like,
Yeah, but then you win that shit.
I'd have been
a fucking
okay.
raffle or something.
Bro, I won that shit at a charity auction. Yeah.
Yeah.
I donated money to a charity or whatever. Yeah. I paid
And it wasn't $1 million.
Bro, I paid like $200 for that ball. I gave $200 to the Special Olympics and I got a Kobe ball out of it.
Dude,
so
pretty damn good.
Yeah, it's a pretty damn good trade-off. If it's never worth anything, I never get rid of it. I'm like, yeah, it's worth it. Like, so, and it's a number 8 Kobe, so it's the rapist Kobe. I apologize. It's not 2-4, okay? It's Kobe with the bad reputation.
All's forgiven.
But still, he's all forgiven.
His wife forgave him for that.
Yeah.
He bought her a rock.
So we can too. But yeah, man, I was thinking, I was like, oh fuck, man, I should have got rid of the Kobe ball. Yo, Kobe had a whole alter ego after that shit. He changed the number, everything.
Everything.
Good for him. Oh man, that shit was fucked up, dude. Did you see the FaZe Clan thing? Like the
No, who's that?
Bro, FaZe Clan is like the big esports.
Esports.
They're a huge esports brand. I think LeBron.
My kids aspire to be esports players.
I think it's some NFL players. I want to say Juju. I might get that wrong, but I think Juju was part of FaZe Clan.
Really?
Schuster.
Is he that good?
Yeah, he's a huge like gamer, man.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I want to say one of LeBron's kids is anyway, like probably the biggest brand in esports is FaZe Clan. But dude, they're going public through like this SPAC. And we don't have enough time to go into what SPAC is, but it's just Google SPAC. But it's essentially kind of like the latest craze of how you go public and you essentially do it with a group of other things. So yeah, anyway, dude, $1 billion valuation
for the team.
$1 billion, bro. For the brand, the team, the company.
Right,
so you figure it's the esports team. It's memorabilia. It's content. It's a little. It's a couple things, but who would have thought, dude, that an esports brand would be worth $1 billion, dude, 5 years ago?
That's insane.
It's so
bro.
wild, man. I'd be happy for these kids. I'd be mad too, because I'm like, I've been a nerd. I
was good at Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah, I was getting beat up for that shit, and you motherfuckers are making money. But yeah, man,
dude, it's so funny, man, how the space of you know that you always say like teachers have a really hard job, right? Because they're training our children they're training them for the jobs of tomorrow that don't exist.
Yeah.
Right. So like esports didn't exist when we were kids. They didn't exist when maybe they were at the infancy when my kids were kids, which they're still kids. But man, like that, YouTubers, an Instagram influencer, that kind of shit, right? Like that things that our kids now sort of aspire to be, like those kind of jobs, man. And it's like I even think about like the NFT space, and which is crazy, right? Because Gary Vee had something recently that I listened to, and I was like, wow, man, it's so true. Where he was like, the blue check on Instagram. Oh. He's like, that shit means something.
Yeah, and you can't hold it.
Right.
It's not tangible.
Right. But you got a blue check on Instagram, it means something.
So true. And
so he used it as, he goes like, and that's what NFTs will be in the future, because there'll be these sort of like digital wallets, if you will, right? That'll be your way to floss. Instead of buying like chains and clothes and cars and this, like you'll have these NFTs that will say something about you.
Yeah. And
it'll be your way to like to floss.
I don't understand why that concept's so hard to grasp, man. Obviously, I know the tech and I guess the idea of it is in its infancy. But like the way I always look at it is like, bro, we all buy Picasso prints from Bed Bath & Beyond, but we're willing to pay a little more for the actual fucking Picasso, right? And that's what an NFT is, right? It's like, yeah, it might just be like a digital version of like some artwork or some pixelated shit, but it's like, no, it's the original version of
right.
That. Like, sure, you can replicate it, but like it doesn't mean you have the Picasso. Like, I thought that concept would be easy for us to grab. Maybe people
have a hard time because they can't hold it.
Yeah, it's not tangible, so
right.
I guess they look at it as like, and obviously in the art space, it's a different animal because you can sort of like, I don't want to say hide wealth, but you can certainly use art as a wealth saving mechanism to evade taxes and yada yada. So it's a little bit different, but still, we're all willing to pay a little more for like the original of something. And that's what an NFT
really
is. Yeah, I mean that's what an NFT is. I also think, man, I'm pretty sure we've talked about this on here. Is like NFT is gonna change the way you do anything, dude. Kiss realtors goodbye. Kiss mortgage brokers goodbye. Kiss like traditional banking goodbye. Like, do you go through a drive-through, a toll booth? I think the way we get paid is gonna change. Like, instead of waiting for this whole weekly check, the way that tech works, you're gonna get paid daily. Like, the whole idea behind this stuff is to make kind of the transfer of money, whatever that is, whether it's a crypto asset or actual, whatever, a fiat currency, but like, it's going to make it quicker. It's going to make it instantaneous. And more importantly, it's going to make it cheaper to carry out those transactions. I guess like anything else where we all look, we think it's crazy because we just.
It's funny that you say that. So is there, coming from the financial background, is there a reason why companies pay weekly versus daily?
It's just practical. It's easier, right? Like there's a cost of me calculating, right, what I owe you daily. Then I have to transfer the money to your bank account. If I do a same day transfer, it's more expensive than doing a next day transfer. If I like,
but if you
many
were
moving parts to it,
if you were salary, right, and you don't get paid any overtime or anything like that, does it cost you money to transfer? It does. It costs money
every
to
single
transfer
transaction, whether it's an ACH, wire, whatever it is. It's more expensive, right? So, and doing this via sort of this the tech that's behind NFTs and
the blockchain, right?
The blockchain, it's like fractions of a cent cheaper than what it costs us to move like actual money right now across banks. So, and because of the linkage,
fractions of a cent cheaper, or fractions of a cent
like
of the cost. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna get the number wrong, but let's say it cost me $1 to move money now, right? It's like 10 cents or something to do it through this tech, like as far as the cost of actually doing it, because it's and not to go too far down the banking rabbit hole, but the way banks work, right? Like if I bank with one bank and you have another bank, my bank may not have a direct relationship with yours, right? So I have an intermediary that I have to send money to. That intermediary then takes money to you. Everyone along that chain is not only getting a cut, but there's a time involved with that, right? And there's technology. Like so you coming from the IT side, you know that transfer, there's an exchange of files that has to happen, right? In that case, when you go to this blockchain technology, I can send something directly to you, skipping the middleman. That's faster, cheaper, instantaneous. Like there's so many levels to it where you go. So then,
and the history is recorded forever.
So that's why if you think of like a title company where you go, the whole purpose of a title company is to or title insurance is like someone doesn't have claim to say if you ever bought a house, someone has never owned that house before, and if it comes up, you buy title insurance just in case someone claims that hey, that's actually their house and whatever, that person can sell it. If you have blockchain technology that's sort of keeping track of who owned this house, so you have the title through blockchain, and you just go, oh no, I see Sean owned it. Sean sold it to Juan. That's who rightfully owns it now. You completely get rid of the idea of even having a title company, because their whole purpose is to sort of support this document that says this house is yours. And then if you think of a realtor, right, like the realtor goes around and shows you houses. We have the internet now, right? Like we all have Zillow, we have Realtor.com, we have this stuff, and pretty much we all know what we want, right? Like then we just want to go see it in person. Do I need someone to go take me to 16 houses that they quote unquote found when I can see them all online? Why am I paying you 3% and then the other guy 3%? And if I sell you a $500,000 house, I'm losing out, on a massive amount of money because you booked an appointment. So that's like, all that stuff, man, is going away because now I can take that transaction. Now you leverage the internet, right? If I'm able to find this, and then I leverage the technology of the blockchain to go, I can do the entire transaction without involving a bank, without involving a realtor, and then now everyone feels secure in that whole.
I just wonder if the realtor's the one that's sort of out there, sort of like, I guess you sort of giving him maybe a finder's fee. Because maybe I don't have time to or haven't made time.
Sure, and that's always going to happen, right? Like it's like there's travel agents now. It blows my mind, but they're out there.
They're still out there,
right? And there's somebody out there who goes like, "Yo, I don't want to go through Expedia. I don't want to Google this shit. Can you go book me a trip? I want to go on a safari. Like here's when I want to go. Like go figure that out." Sure, there's always going to be like this marketplace for that. But like if you think about and this is oversimplifying it, right? But like if you go through a toll booth, like we all have, say, like an e-pass, right? We all have to load our e-pass with money ahead of time, right? An e-pass takes a certain amount, and when you get to a certain threshold, whatever, they pull the money. There's a reason they pull the money when you get to
Before
this minimum, way before you use it, right? If you think of this blockchain technology, this is going to be where I could roll through a toll and it takes the money out of my account instantaneously. There's no middleman. I don't have to go and give the money to SunPass or ePass or whoever I use and then do that. It's like, no. It's coming out of your account, and it's coming out the minute you go through that toll booth, which sounds oversimplified. It's like, oh, that's not that impressive. But if you think about that, and now you go, oh, if I'm an employee, I clock out that day, the money's in my bank because they know I clocked in, I clocked out. If I'm salaried, they know it was there. Like, it's going to make the transfer stuff. Like, you go through a drive-through. Like, who's to say you don't have something already in your car, like an e-pass? It's linked directly to your bank account. And they just go, forget swiping. Like, you order, you drive over this thing, it scans your, and you're on your way. It's, I think that's where we're going to get to, where when we get there, it's going to be like, of course we're here. Like, this was simple. But this technology is what's allowing that, or what's going to allow that. And we're going to get there within the next decade. I just don't know that people have like really opened their eyes to like, oh shit, this makes this stuff. You know what it is I think it's hard to imagine, oh, it can't get better than this, like where we're at right now. Right? Like people have always said that. Like there's someone riding a horse and buggy at some point in time who were like, how's it get any better than this? Like, and it can. And that's what's going to happen is this stuff's going to get better than this. And we're going to go, oh, shit, this is what allowed it. And we were all going like, you know, it's like the people who said the internet was a fad.
Yeah.
It's like,
No, very true. All right, man. So I'm going to see your $1 billion company and I'm going to raise you another $1 billion company. So Spanx, the company Spanx CEO, Sarah Blakely, they recently sold the brand for $1.2 billion. Okay,
good for Sarah, man.
Which is fantastic, right? Because this is a company that she started like while she was in college, or at least had the idea.
Yeah. And it's only like 20 years old, right? 21, 22 years old ish.
I don't know how old it is, but I did hear a quote from her where she was like, "Man, people laughed at me when I said this company is going to be worth $20 million one day."
Wow.
And she sold it for $1.2 billion. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because she, upon selling it, she gave every employee 2 first-class tickets, plane tickets, anywhere in the world, and $10,000 to spend.
Good for her,
right?
Man.
I was like, man, wow. that's how you do that shit, right? Like, I mean, obviously, there's other things you could do. Somebody might go like, oh, I'd rather have stock in the company or whatever. But to the layman, that is awesome. An amazing gift. And then they were interviewing people like afterwards. And it was like, oh, where you going? And it was anywhere from like, somebody was like Antarctica, which I was like, man, you're crazy.
Yeah.
But there was like, you know, Africa safaris, you know, places in Europe, other places in Africa, Australia. Like, and somebody was like, oh man, my, you know, this is going to pay for my fiance and I, our honeymoon. Yeah, so it was just an amazing, and then they filmed it, right? And I think she filmed it on her for her Instagram. So it wasn't anything professional. Somebody going on with the phone just to get everybody's reaction. And the company is mostly women, and women are emotional anyway. But man,
Sean said that.
Yeah, I said it. Yeah, you guys are. You know you are. So you could see it was just like the I mean. Oh, the oh my God moment, right? For these women. And it was so cool to see, man, because you just don't expect that kind of shit.
No, that's dope, dude. Yeah.
And so for her, which Sarah's still a young woman.
Yeah, she's got to be in her 40s.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I just thought, like, I almost gave her my carbon footprint because I just go like, yo, you don't have to do that. And you did it anyway, and you don't even understand like the kind of impact that has on somebody's life. Somebody's gonna take that trip. That is a, you know how you always say it, like sometimes we don't remember like days, we remember moments.
Yeah.
That she just made moments for every employee in her establishment.
For some people, those are bucket list things that seem so out of reach, and she just gave it to them.
Yep.
Like it's life changing for some people. Like, yeah, I get to go visit a place that in my mind was like impossible, or was like I'm gonna save up my whole life to do this, or what, you know, like you just never know. Like some of us travel, and some places are more accessible than others. And it's cool for some people, man. Like Yeah, you said getting a trip to Africa or Europe or whatever, it would seem so out of reach.
Yeah.
And for her to do that for them, man, I think we lose touch of like these like quote unquote simple, I guess, gestures or seemingly simple gestures. Dude, we were talking a little about this. I have so much respect for her as a business person and as a like this doesn't shock me. If you read her book, she has a book.
Oh, she does, okay.
If you read anything about her so I'll follow her on LinkedIn. I've seen her on Shark Tank a lot. She's the way she not just take the woman part out of it. Obviously, I think would be super inspirational to a woman if you're starting a brand. You have this idea and people think you're crazy, whatever. But like, I would say as a business person, as a person, if you want to be a leader of a company, if you want to like, read her book and follow her story. There's so many. Like so much of her story that's so human and so the rest of us, right? Like we all have, whether it's kids or school that you're dealing with, or like you have this idea and people think you're nuts and you're like this, the hustle that she put in. I don't know how you don't like look at her story and go like, yeah, I respect the shit out of that. Like that's, you want to talk about a rag to riches story sort of thing. Like, dude, she crushed that. It's such a good story.
Did she come from like a poor household, or
I don't say poor, but yeah, definitely not like
just middle class at best, I guess.
And then had this idea for like the like undergarments, I guess, for women, like and people thought like, nobody gives a fuck about that, and she was like, because at the time that she comes up with this concept, you got to think like, yes, like the fashion world caters to women, but no one's thinking like that you can't make a company solely catered to women. You're not going to do that great at this time, right? Like, obviously, we have so many examples of that after the fact now, whether it's in like the purse and fashion industry and makeup and whatever. But like when she's building this, no one, this is like late 90s, early 2000s. No one's going like, yeah, build a brand completely built around women. Like no men are going to buy your product ever. And people aren't exactly lining up to go, yeah, sure, I want in on that. Like, you're gonna take out, what's the population, men versus women, like in the world, and you go like, yeah, I'm gonna eliminate that entire population from purchasing your product because they'll never need it. Like and just her belief in that.
But
product,
they'll buy it for their wives.
Yeah, no, very true. But you're also like, yeah, it just
but yeah.
Just to have that sort of belief in her own product and to just, I think, be so convicted and follow kind of the path that she followed and just the hustle that she put in, like obviously we both follow like Gary Vee and stuff like that. Like, dude, you want to talk about hustle? She hustled, man. Like, yeah, I have so much respect for her as a business person and as an entrepreneur, man. Like, yeah, definitely read her story, man. She's
what is her what is her book?
Ooh,
gotta at least put her on for that.
I don't want to say that. Here, let's look it up. It's Sarah Blakely's book. Because I don't want to get that wrong. Blakely. So here we go. Boom, boom, boom. The Spanx story.
Of course it is.
There's another one though. I don't think that's the one I read.
No.
I think it's called a biography by a biography of the Spanx billionaire. Hold on. No, maybe it is the Spanx story. Fucking A. I read that. I'm looking at the cover. I'm like, it doesn't look familiar, but
is there a few?
There's a few like unofficial ones.
The Belly Art Project.
The Belly Art Project is one of them. The thrift books. So yeah. So she has a few out there. I'm trying to figure out. We'll get that because we'll put it out there because there's one that Olivia Barnes wrote. That's just like a sort of a biography that she worked with her. But there's one directly from Sarah.
This is
no, it's the Spanx story. Yeah,
will help you understand and adopt the competitive strategies, workplace culture, and daily business practices that enabled her to dominate the shapewear industry.
Dude, and watch her on. I mean, I'm an avid fan of Shark Tank. First of all, the amount of people there who start concepts and just go on there thinking like demanding money for, and I guess it's hard not to obviously believe in your idea enough to want to go on there, but like when people go on there and they're just like, how many sales do you have? Like none, but it's like,
right,
like, bro, proof of concept at least before you come on here. But she's, the way she invests, you can even tell the way she invests in products or won't, or they all have their thing, like their niche, right? Like everybody on there, like whether it's Mark Cuban or Damon John. But like, I always like watching her and why she turns something down or like decides to get into it. Obviously, big supporter of like women, on there. But you know, when she doesn't support them, I always look at the advice that she gives them as to the why not, and you're just like, you got to respect like, she didn't fall into the emotional trap of like, yo, I got to give this lady a shot.
Right.
It's like, hey, this is where your product's falling short. Like, I think if you address that, you're going to be okay, kind of thing. And then,
right.
Yeah, so, shout out to her, man. That's
yeah,
dope.
man. No, kudos to her, bro.
That's fire, man. Dude, did you see the dude in Norway? Before we get out of here, I have to bring this shit up because
I'm afraid.
Yo, homie in Norway, he kills 5 people. He went on a rampage.
That's it?
And kills 5 people. Yeah, you know, in America, bro, we get these numbers up. For Norway, though,
how many did he injure?
Substantial. He probably injured like 17, but he kills 5 people, bro, with a bow and arrow.
Yeah?
Yeah. Dude,
Where?
That means 4 motherfuckers deserve to die. How you go on a mass spree with a bow and arrow? Bro, you gotta cock it. You gotta pull an arrow out.
Who's the guy from Marvel?
Fucking Hawkeye.
You gotta be like Hawkeye.
You gotta be Hawkeye, bro. You pulling that shit. What's it called? A quiver. I don't even know. The quiver. You gotta pull that shit out. You gotta pull back. You gotta aim. Bro, 5 people, bro.
What did he do? Go into like a concert and just
it was
shooting?
no, it wasn't a concert. It was like a
I'm just thinking like what event has people like that close where you just shoot into the crowd and you'll get somebody?
I don't even know if he went out in the middle of the street. I wish it said it on here. I'm sure I can go look it up. But yeah, it was a public attack. It was basically like a mass shooting,
right.
but with a bow and arrow.
5 people dead?
5 people dead.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he's good too.
Yo, his aim is impeccable, bro. Like Hawkeye might want to hit him up. You get 5, bro. Who's standing around going, yo, this motherfucker got a bow and arrow. Oh shit.
Let me tell you.
He just caught that guy.
If you can get about 30 yards away, I don't care how good you
bro,
are.
I can stand 6 feet from you and dodge a bow and arrow. I'm gonna kick you in your face, bro. Like, who watches a guy load, pull a bow from a quiver, or an arrow, load it into the bow, pull back, and you're just staring at him going, I hope I'm not next.
Dude, it must be Hawkeye, bro. He's just putting them out there. You know how Hawkeye be doing it real quick? Like,
throwing them like, you're right, bro. This got to be an Avenger. Has to be. There's no way. This has to be an Avenger, bro. How do you pull this shit off? And
so you didn't see where it was?
It's in Norway, but
grocery store.
Oh, I'm telling you right now.
Like,
We're gonna look this shit up. Let me see. Norway bow
I gotta
and arrow
know.
attack. Yeah, because you're right. This might add context to the whole thing. So
if it's like, it was like a rock concert or some shit like that.
Residents of the Norwegian town with a blah, 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 grapple Friday with here we go, bow and arrow attack. Going out to attack people during their grocery shopping at a grocery store. That's even worse, bro.
No way. You got aisles and shit?
Yeah, you can get behind things. You can throw cans at him, bro. Throw watermelons, all kinds of fruit.
You can hit him with a bag of flour.
Yeah. Bro, there's so many ways. And succeeded in killing 5 of them. Attack people during the grocery store. So that means, a couple survive. And, dude, the victims range from 50 to 70. I mean, I might give the 70-year-old a pass if he was first.
Wow, 5 dead, man. I mean, it's sad, but
it is.
But you go, yeah, like if my local grocery store gets attacked by a madman, I want him. If I have to choose between like that and like a machine gun or a rifle or any kind of firearm,
yo, I'm taking my chances.
I'm taking
with
the
bow and arrow, bro. Bro, I'm charging at you with a bow and arrow, and I'm gonna flick you in your forehead for having the audacity. Like you ain't Hawkeye, bitch. It's not Robin Hood. Why you out here with a bow and arrow? Oh, dude, that I was dying, bro. And
you just figure like even if you running away from him. Like
you not hitting me moving. He's not to kill me. That's what I'm like. Are you staring at this guy going, I wonder if I'm next?
Freeze.
I hope he doesn't shoot me.
Okay.
Freeze. I wonder if it's like a shark. Are you supposed to stay still? It just made themselves easier targets. Oh, how stupid.
Oh, man. All right, bro. Tell them where they can find us.
Fuck me, man. If you are not already following us, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Facebook Podcast, like literally everywhere. On socials, we're on TikTok, IG, Facebook. at the Carbon Football Podcast, and then at the Carbon Football Podcast at gmail.com. So yeah, if you're not, follow us, hit us up, let us know what you guys think. Let us know we're crazy. Tell us, give us your drink ideas. Yeah, whatever you got, man.
Yeah, man. As always, folks, we appreciate you. Love you for the support. And I'm gonna leave y'all again. I wrote this shit down because I think it's gonna resonate with some people. So don't allow your life to be dictated by people who are not living it.
Goddamn right. Yeah.
And with that, we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Peace.